Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Monday, March 11th. We're going to take a look at Workhorse today. So with earnings coming up, I thought we'd come and take a look and see where Workhorse might hit some support or resistance if it does boom or bust, and of course, some levels that it might sort of hug if it does move relatively sideways. Now, if I sound different, I'm fighting off losing of my voice over the last few days, and so I'm doing my best to get through it, but if it's more challenging to listen to than normal. That's why. Now, one thing that stretches way back but does play a current role is this long-term downtrend resistance that Workhorse has been in since it was up in the fives. And obviously it's a far cry from that, but the reason it's relevant is it did just recently, as it hit that like 23-ish cent bottom, that quick double bottom, and it pushed up through with the help of a 22% day, an 8% day, a 12% day, and then has sort of struggled to hang on to it a bit, but it is trying to get some distance from that downtrend resistance. So we'll see if that can persist, or if there is sort of a catastrophic reaction to earnings if it does sort of dip back into there. But it would take a lot to pin it back down way under that at the moment. So we may be sooner than later taking that off of the chart. Now, levels wise, let's just start near in. 32 cents, right about where it is right now. I know with stocks of this price, we just end up dealing in fractions of a penny, which make it a little bit challenging, but so it goes. And then the nearest in level down, 29.50. Now, I know the chart, it looks like there's a lot of levels here, and there are, partially because obviously we had a big motion through these price levels relatively recently, right? Like all of that's putting in a bunch of really good price action. But also, we've been tracking Workhorse for years and years, and so you'll see levels all the way up here, and I'm sure it's because I deleted a bunch that we had up in these levels. So, but I think if we just stick with these near-in levels up to about 45 cents to the upside, and then down to about 23, hopefully that covers us more or less for the earnings reaction. Now, if it does push upward, 35 cents is the nearest in level that I have. If it gets some tailwind and either has a really big bullish reaction to earnings or over the coming days and weeks, it continues to climb. 37.50, 41.61, and 45 cents. These do look like the stronger levels to me on the chart. There are a few more granular ones in between, but I tried to balance putting in what I felt were the most relevant levels without putting in every single little level, because then it does just look incredibly cluttered. Now, 29.50 we had mentioned, if it does then have a more negative reaction or it draws down at some point in the near future, 28 cents, 26.39, 24.76, 23.01, then of course you have this 2271, if I'm reading that correctly, was the low on this day, 2271, yeah. So of course that would be sort of the next one, but it didn't feel necessary to put it on the chart. Now, Workhorse did hit this really lengthy trigger, and it triggered itself all the way into sort of like fell into a move here, right? And then when it fired, I guess it did sort of pull this down from like the 30s all the way down to that 22 level that we just spoke about, and then has jumped up out of the upper bound of the channel recently and has since drawn back down in to test the mid-range of the channel, for now holding, and again for now reconfirming support at the mid-range of the channel. So we'll see how earnings throws this sort of all askew. Do we just wake up with a candle that develops outside of the channel one way or the other? Is it able to stay within the channel? If it does, here's potentially some more relevant levels. 36.31 is the upper bound of the channel right now. 334 is the upper mid. The lower mid, 27.58, and the lower bound, 24.68. No new trigger and fire happening on the TTM squeeze indicator. Probably not necessary. for, you know, such a big earnings like catalyst, such a big catalyst like earnings coming up. And so, you know, sort of setting aside the TTM squeeze indicator, certainly potential for an outsized reaction just based on the pending catalyst alone. If we do dip below 23, or if we do climb above 45, obviously there are some levels before this 73.81 level that we have on the chart. So if folks are interested, leave me a comment, and I'd be happy to come in and take another look if we stretch above these levels. You know, just taking an eyeball at it right now, you know, just shy of 50 cents, which makes sense, right? But you see that that's all this topping out here, and sort of also where this maybe is a little gap that's still here. I don't know, I'd have to look at that more specifically, but you know, that also makes sense because it's a psychological level of 50 cents. So I'll put that one here as an added bonus that's not on the chart yet. If it does scoot past 45 and we haven't updated the chart yet. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.